A Nightingale Among the Beautiful, Ottoman Gender and Sexuality, 15th through 18th centuries. In context, focus, same-sex desire. Before, 1170 to 1200, Persian poet Nizami Ganjavi writes his Kamsa. 5 poems have a major impact on later Ottoman Turkish love poetry. 1258 to 1273, Jalal al-Din Rumi, a Sufi mystic and Persian poet, dictates the verses that form his Masnavi, a great influence on subsequent Ottoman poets. Circa 1300, Osman I founds the Ottoman Empire in northwestern Anatolia, present-day Turkey. 1453, Sultan Mehmed II captures Constantinople, capital of the Byzantine Empire, and makes it the Ottoman capital with a new local name, Istanbul. After, 1839, the Gulhain Edict marks the start of Tanzimat, a period of reforms that begins to stigmatize same-sex acts. In the heyday of classical Ottoman poetry between the 15th and 18th centuries, same-sex desire was one element of an adult male's palette of pleasures, rather than a fixed identity. The literature of this period includes many examples of male authors' love and lust for younger men, the beloveds, alongside their desire for women. As there are no substantial legal or autobiographical accounts of homoerotism at the time, prose and poetry provide the greatest evidence of Ottoman men's affections for boys and other men. Ottoman Turkish lacks grammatical gender, so the gender of the poet's objects of affection could be ambiguous, but other cues make it clear that these muses were both beardless boys and adolescent and adult women. Such poetry stemmed from a long tradition in Islamic literature and often borrowed or adapted tropes from both Arabic and Persian poetry. Although Islamic legal dictates forbade intercourse between two men, there was a clear distinction between love and sex. Expressing feelings of friendship, closeness, and love for one another was not illicit. The male-male emotions sometimes encapsulated ideas of faithfulness, piety, and political loyalty and appear in works about religious mysticism or appropriate courtly conduct. At other times, there was explicit reference to physical pleasure. A broad spectrum of tastes. Despite the legal constraints on male-male sexual acts and consuming alcohol, there was a thriving sex industry in Istanbul's wine houses where young men often danced or sold their services to other men. Latifi, a 16th century Ottoman bureaucrat, poet, and chronicler, wrote, "Teasing, smiling, and uttering sweet words, and this male prostitute surpassed females." For Ottomans during this era, sex was just one of many physical, mental, and emotional urges. Manuals on sex and sex acts were not uncommon, and Ottoman paintings attest to an interest in intercourse between men. Some explicit writings demonstrate that sexual roles, especially penetration and relationships, often mirrored established codes of age, hierarchy, class, and ethnic or religious difference. But these were not fixed. At times, men could fulfill new roles as they wished or as they aged or advanced socially. The love poetry of adult men and highlights their erotic lives, but it eclipses the experiences and emotions of women and people define the gender binary. Texts written overtly by a woman for a woman are scarce in the historical sources. What is present are rare mentions by men of women who loved and lusted for other women, or of dancers, beauties, and sex workers who combined both masculine and feminine roles. This evidence contrasts sharply with Western European accounts, which are probably exaggerated, of widespread love and sex between the Ottoman lands. Not unchallenged. The tolerance and encouragement of love between males did not go unchallenged. Occasionally, those who sought to restrict or obliterate it on grounds of its perceived immorality had the upper hand. Whatever their claims to successes, however, same-sex desire remained an undeniable thread in the everyday life of the Ottoman Empire.